Hey family, MarshaunO here, your favorite shift relationship strategist, and I want to talk to you today about excessive complaining and specifically the 3 effects that excessive complaining can have on your relationship. See, a lot of times we think that when we are complaining, we think that we're doing the right thing, number one, which is why we complain. We pretty much more than likely, right? We more than likely got it from a parent or a guardian that we thought was doing the right thing, meaning expressing themselves correctly, expressing their needs correctly, asking for what they want in the form of complaining, which is why we have now taken it on and started to do the very thing that we don't want others to do to us. So instead of taking on the complaints, right? Instead of you being an excessive complainer about the way your spouse is showing up, about the things that your spouse is doing, about the things that your spouse is not doing, right? You have to find better ways to communicate your needs as well as your desires as well as your wants, right? Because if you don't, then these 3 effects that I'm getting ready to talk about is really going to weigh your relationship or your marriage way down. So the very first thing I want you to think about when it comes to how much you are excessively complaining. Literally, you're complaining about any and everything. Before I get into the first point, let's talk about why you're doing this. See, most people complain because they want to feel heard, they want to feel understood, they want some validation that they're not receiving, right? They maybe even is just looking for some attention. So instead of asking or saying, hey babe, I just need some attention, they're complaining so you will hear them, not realizing that because you complain all the time about every little minute detail, it is going in this ear and out the other ear. Your spouse may get quiet because in their mind, they know that if they get quiet, they're not engaging in this conversation, but also at some point, you will have to quiet that down, shut it down, even shut up, if you will, because you can only have an argument when the other person is participating. After a while, you will shut that down. So the very first thing that excessive complaining does to your relationship is that it weakens the intimacy and the feelings of closeness that you two could have, right? So we're thinking about wanting to be intimate, right? We're thinking about wanting to be close, but because maybe I'm the complainer, right? So because I complain so much about my spouse to my friends, to my spouse, to my coworkers, literally to anybody that will listen to me, I am not finding those it weakens the intimacy and the feelings of closeness that I want to feel for you. The thoughts of this is going great, or you are great for me, I am great for you, I'm so happy that you chose me, I'm so happy that we have chosen one another, right? It really weakens and takes the excitement out of the relationship, because you're like, well, I don't feel close to this person anyway, right? So we don't have a lot of intimacy. We don't have a lot of deep conversations. We don't hold hands much. We're both sitting on opposite ends of the couch now. We're not even sitting close together. We no longer hold hands. Maybe you're not even sleeping in the same bed at the same time, or even in the same room. Maybe at this point you have decided to sleep in separate rooms. And to some extreme cases, some couples decide to sleep in different houses because the complaint is just too much. And here's the thing: if you are not your partner's peace, if your home is not your partner's peaceful place, then guess what? They will find reasons not to come there. And here's the thing: you do the same thing if you were in your partner's shoes, and also understood the mental draining that you are really giving, that you are putting off on your spouse. So it weakens the intimacy and the feelings of closeness with your spouse when you are constantly complaining. The second thing that it does is it literally blocks all of the opportunities that you two could be connecting, because you're focused so much on the negative, right? And you could be a very negative person, right? So everything that is spewing out of your mouth is in the form of something negative. You very rarely have something positive to say about the relationship, and definitely nothing positive to say about your spouse. And if and when you do, for some reason you think that, well, actually you're not even thinking this. Is an unconscious thing that we do, because when people are negative, they have a tendency to always think and talk about the negative thing first. That is their go-to, right? So if you are a negative person, you're not really thinking about anything positive at all anyway. And so unfortunately, you are missing a lot. I can't express it enough. You are missing a whole lot of opportunities to connect with your spouse, because a moment ago, I just said the intimacy, and you're lacking intimacy, right? So those long conversations that you want to have, you can't even have them. You can't even form a sentence or a question that would be thought-provoking, so you two can have a really deep conversation, because you're thinking about all of the things that he did wrong, and you're stuck there. When you are an excessive complainer, you are stuck in the negativity. And even though you want to come out of it, you can't find a way to get out of it. You can't find a way to get out of it. And so you are blocking multiple opportunities to connect, to feel close, to build up the intimacy with your spouse. The third thing that you need to recognize as an excessive complainer is that you're not bringing any solutions to the table. And so what I really would love for you to do is not necessarily cut or stop all of the complaints. What I would love for you to do, and I'm sure your spouse, if your spouse was here talking to you right now, he or she would really love it if you could really hear this part. If you pick up nothing from this video, pick this part up, which is, it's not so much the complaints. The excessive complaining, yes, it's just too many, right? That's what excessive is. It's a whole lot. It's too much. It's a bunch. But also to think about, when you go with a complaint, you must follow that complaint up with a solution or a resolution, because otherwise you're just leaving it hanging and flailing in the wind, and your spouse is looking like, well, I didn't even know that this was a problem, number one, but now I got to figure out how I'm going to deal with this thing. But again, I didn't realize it was a problem, so I need to process this thing. So in order to cut down on the processing that your spouse may have to do, complain, yes, get it out. I don't recommend holding that in, because a lot of people don't realize that when you hold things in, research actually shows that this is where a lot of sickness comes from in your body. Look it up if you don't believe me, okay? Now, go with the solution along with the complaint. And here's the thing, you can start to deepen the intimacy and feeling close to your spouse if you take the solution to you, because now you guys can have an open discussion about it. It doesn't mean that your spouse has to jump on board with your solution. That's not what this is about. What this is giving you an opportunity to open up and for you guys to connect once again, but also to resolve whatever it is that you are complaining about, especially if you're complaining about this issue over and over again. What I would love for you to do, as soon as you're finished watching this, I would like for you to take out your phone, take out a piece of paper, take out your journal, and write the complaint that you want to talk to your spouse about, and then write down what you believe would be a great solution, so you never have to bring this conversation up again. And here's the thing, then you must present this to your spouse so you two can have a conversation about it, as well as resolve the issue. So now, I am MarshaunO. I am your favorite shift relationship strategist. Now, if you are a Black woman who's watching this, who would love to be a part of a group of like-minded Black women, a part of my coaching program, we meet weekly, as well as a slew of other things that comes along with you joining into the program. You know that you need some guidance. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired. You are ready to take the next step, because that's the thing I want you to think about. If you're ever thinking about working with MarshaunO, me, then you must be ready to take the action, because otherwise you're going to be wasting your time, you're going to be wasting my time, and you're going to be wasting your money. So when you're ready to work, when you're ready to end some of the things that you're doing, such as excessive complaining, then guess what? Then you send me an email, or you go down and look for the link down below, which is the group is called the Marriage Restoration Club. Now, you have to be either married or in a long-term relationship in order for me to be able to really take a deep dive into you. If you are single, don't worry, I'm coming out with something for the single people, but right now this one is specifically for my married or my ladies in long-term relationships who don't know what to do, what's the first step, how to even take it. You need some guidance, but you also need that accountability, because if you don't have somebody asking you the questions and literally putting you to the test to get you to the next level in your relationship, then you probably won't do it. I am a girl. Click the link down below. It is bit.ly/the marriage restoration club, with each word having the first letter in each word is capitalized. Again, I will see you guys in the next video. I love you guys, and there's nothing that you can do about it, and we will talk soon. Bye.